How are you today, Sam? Wisdom is never late. Don't make me want to watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, Lord of the Rings again. I'll get the right fantasy.
Quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Well, she sounds sincere, doesn't she? Oh, he was such a good man. So unfortunate what happened to him. Yes, arrives precisely when he means to. You doing okay? Awesome. So, about this emptied colonial collection of plants...
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honour.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic, and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Yeah, I'll say he suffered. Poor kid.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Mm-hmm. See, the thing is, for somebody to poison him with a particular plant, knowing that the spores are like insanely lethal, they would need to be a botanist, which means it's got to be somebody here, in all probability. We've got one more person to find, and then there's a final mystery by the look of it. These characters here that are greyed out slightly lighter are for another mystery, so we've got another one to do after this. Oh, look what we kept from the last case. We kept one of the forks. Holmes, you stole the silverware. How dare you? Right, so we can speak to somebody about the fragment of the statue. And we can open up these staff areas as well, so we need to go there next and have a look. Maybe Albert will know about the statue. Like, why was the bust placed in the garbage bin all the way over here in the nursery? Or maybe this guy will. Let's ask him first. Hamish, stop killing those plants with too much water and speak to me. Sherlock Sackville Baggins.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room, in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
Liar! We found the fragment from the statue in the colonial room, the portion of it that has been cleared out and scrubbed.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the colonial collection room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Thank
Damn
you,
it, I'm
Mr.
a
Hamish.
botanist,
We
not a
shall continue our
geologist.
investigation.
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
Well, alright then. Let's carry on looking around the other areas. So the lab is here.
Locked.
No, it doesn't. Get in there. Table for experiments. Oh, I've got one of those.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
So this one's nicer than yours. Well, thanks, Watson.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Well, you can abandon the sarcasm for one thing.
A phonograph used for voice recording.
Oh, it's an Edison thing.
Yes,
Look at it.
this is quite a modern laboratory.
This is modern, guys. Modern. Look at this. Yeah, wax cylinders. State of the art.
I don't hear anything.
I hear nothing. So we've got a cylinder here that's been marked as 245S.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
What about this one?
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Ooh. Okay. So apparently the Florum diabolica, when it's under attack, releases spores that are deadly, supposedly. Alright. The realization of the toxic process is fairly difficult for it to require for a particular chemical fertilizer, natural stimulation and nutrition. So we need more evidence. Apparently we could probably find more wax cylinders then, I guess. Open up the drawers. Nope. Also chemicals.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
You can do some serious science in this room. Oh, what was that? A university book. University of Cambridge Botanical Section.
A botany book.
Albert Dunn. Repeat year.
This student's book belongs to Albert.
So he had to repeat a year at college. Yeah, botany was not his forte. He was not into this at all. One of the protective suits is missing, but we found the mask burned. So somebody burned the protective suit after clearing out the colonial area. So I guess we can figure out then that the burn pile was definitely the colonial plant collection. Probably burned because of the spores that were on it that were deadly.
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
No, but they had some on display. Nothing. Ah, okay, we can pick up something here. I didn't do detective vision back where Miss White is. We'll have to go back and have a look. So, wet bottle trace.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
There are drops. What is this? Gold dust?
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
This is
But why
true.
would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Toby! Yes. We can get Toby on the case. Once we're done looking at everything,
Locked.
and we can't
Holmes,
get into the
Albert Dunn didn't
cloakroom.
give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
And I can pick locks. Oh god, we've got this again, this lock picking mechanic. Oh my god, hang on a minute, does this? Oh god. Oh god. They've added new levels of complexity to this. No. How do I get it to go up? There we go. Right, let's just get one of these lined up there. I like to get these like end pins lined up, and then it gives you a good idea of what you're dealing with. Like, you see, that doesn't line up now, so there must be another one that lines up properly. That one doesn't. Nearly. Yep. But not that way. Not that way. Maybe it goes like that. Instead. Oh, that goes like that. There we go. Ah!
Open.
So smart. So smart, and I don't even know it. Right, Martin Hamish's locker.
Martin Hamish's locker.
Organic chemistry books.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
Just what you'd need to know how to poison. Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens oblige me to renew my application for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and I was happy to comply. Way to call somebody out, wow. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of an inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead and free my mind from this uncertainty. So he was about to send this, and he hasn't done that yet. Look at this photograph. When I do it, it makes me laugh. Father and I, Kew Gardens.
Kew Gardens.
Oh, so his dad was either he worked here, or what if it turns out that his family used to like be the ones in charge of Kew Gardens? That'd be so cool. He killed him to get the old family legacy back. Okay, well, there's this green thumb.
A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces. Miss White's locker.
Quite a few jewels for someone who comes from a poor family.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune.
Somehow she came into some serious wealth, or she's getting gifts. Albert's letter to Miss White. Dear Margaret, I know that your financial troubles are overwhelming you at the present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honour if you might accept help. Well, there we go then. Albert offered. She didn't necessarily accept. That might not be from him. This might be from someone else. A vanity purse.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Yeah. The fact that she still has that letter means she was intending to call on him. Or thinking about taking up his offer. Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all those years that have passed since you left and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yet we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we are at home as always have done. And none of us have ever compromised their reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed, your parents. Wow. Scathing.
Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
Master's degree in chemistry.
Apparently, Miss White is a capable...
Interesting.
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Is that it? I can't
Miss
look at anything
White.
else. Can't look at the hat. Nothing in detective vision. Okay. A draft of the letter. Dear Mother and Father, I'm writing this letter with reluctance to ask you for help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I had anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but you should be. Would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money, Margaret? Ooh. Now, if she sent that letter along those lines, but she's got all this, like, nice perfume, well-made clothes, high-quality vanity purse, lots of jewels. She's not doing so bad, is she?
Albert's locker.
Again, ships. The guy likes his ships. A refusal
A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Wanted to join the Navy. Oh, he wants to go to the School of NCOs. Sir, it is with my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entrance examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust you to the directorship of the Royal Botanical Gardens in Kew. It is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Yours faithfully, J.M. Lemachard, Director of the Royal Navy Training Centre. Oh, that complicates things. So, he wanted to go be in the Navy. Now he's saying he's going to stick around and follow on his father's legacy and carry on as the director at Kew Gardens out of a feeling of obligation. That's what he wants to do. So he's given up on that after the death. So him killing his father isn't a very at least not for this motive. It's not likely that he would do that to free himself from his father's control. We'll see.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
I see something there in detective vision, but let's see, none of those are useful. Okay. Look at this photograph.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Interesting. What about in here? Covered his mirror. He's a vampire. 2 dun-dun-duns in one day. This is turning out to be one heck of a case. The director's safe. Oh my god, that was a complicated lock. Ah. What do we do with this? No idea what I'm doing with that yet. We'll leave that alone. Another photograph.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
So that's a picture of him with Martin Hamish's dad. Again, maybe they were business partners, and then it all went sour. And Dunn took it all for himself. Oh. I'm liking Hamish more and more for this, I really am. The breakup. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck, Montague Dunn. Margaret White and Montague Dunn had a thing going on, it seems. And then Albert reached out to be like, I'll help you. And then now she doesn't need Daddy anymore. She's roped the son in instead. Maybe. She seems like a user of people, given the fact that she has all that nice stuff and then is asking for money from her parents. And she clearly had the Dunn family's, like, backing.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
The Kew Gardens team are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley. One that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They've named it the Siberian barley, produced in England. Okay. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the graft, will hold a press conference next Monday morning upon this very subject. Okay, so Hamish does get mentioned in the news. He used to say that Dunn used to take all the credit. That's not entirely true, it seems. Don't see much of anything else in here. Oh, yeah, champagne. Oh my god, it's the same killer from the knife in the what is it? In the Roman baths. There's a clue here. They're all linked.
Champagne.
Vampires did it.
Montague
Roman
Dunn
vampires.
had good taste.
And a decanter again. It's them, that criminal gang. Or it's the sailor.
French wine. A remarkable vintage.
I'm seeing clues here. It's all tied together. The alcohol is the key to this. Alright, so, Hamish.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Bullshit! Well, the photograph of the father's the only thing that makes sense.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell
Indeed.
us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not
Called
helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens.
Resentful.
Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Clearly fame means something
Thank you,
to
Mr. Hamish.
you, though.
We shall continue our investigation.
Okay. Yes, you wanted to be in the Navy.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Bullshit. So Albert's hopes is going to have to be it, because none of these others make sense.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea.
Mm-hmm.
He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
So yeah, I don't think he killed his dad to break away from the control. If he's now decided he's going to stay anyway and be like, you know what, actually I think I will take this place over. Hello, Miss Gold
Kew
Digger.
Gardens is such an exciting place. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it's full of a lot of people who are willing to give you money. Alright. Let's instead go get Toby, I suppose. But anyway, let me just have one last look at this burnt patch around the back.